1 Kings chapter 6. The completion of the temple. It was in the 480th year after the people of Israel had left the land of Egypt, in the 4th year of Shlomo's reign over Israel, in the month of Ziv, which is the 2nd month, that he began to build the house of Adonai. The house which King Shlomo built for Adonai was 105 feet long, 35 feet wide and 52.5 feet high. The hall fronting the temple of the house was 35 feet long, the same as the width of the house itself, so that its 17.5-foot width extended frontward from the house. The windows he made for the house were wide on the inside and narrow on the outside. Against the wall of the house he built an annex all the way around. It went all the way around the walls of the house, including both the temple and the sanctuary. The lowest floor of the annex was 8 3/4 feet wide, the middle floor 10.5 feet wide and the third floor 12.25 feet wide. For he had made the outer part of the wall of the house step-shaped, so that the beams of the annex would not have to be attached to the house walls. For the house, when under construction, was built of stone prepared at the quarry, so that no hammer, chisel or iron tool of any kind was heard in the house while it was being built. The entrance to the lowest floor was on the south side of the house. A spiral staircase went up to the middle floor and on to the third. So he built the house, and after finishing it, he put its roof on, cedar planks over beams. Each floor of the annex surrounding the house was 8 3/4 feet high and was attached to the house with beams of cedar. Then this word of Adonai came to Shlomo. Concerning this house which you are building, if you will live according to my regulations, follow my rulings and observe all my mitzvot and live by them, then I will establish with you my promise that I made to David your father. I will live in it among the people of Israel, and I will not abandon my people Israel. So Shlomo finished building the house. The insides of the walls of the house he built with boards of cedar. From the floor of the house to the joists of the ceiling he covered them on the inside with wood, and he covered the floor of the house with boards of cypress. The 35-foot back portion of the house he built with boards of cedar from the floor to the joists and reserved this part of the house to be a sanctuary, the especially holy place. While the rest of the house, that is, the temple in front, was 70 feet long. The cedar covering the house was carved with gourds and open flowers. All was cedar, no stone was visible. In the inner part of the house he set up the sanctuary, so that the ark for the covenant of Adonai could be placed there. This sanctuary was 35 feet long, wide and high, and it was overlaid with pure gold. In front of it he set an altar, which he covered with cedar. Shlomo overlaid the interior of the house with pure gold and had chains of gold placed before the sanctuary, which itself he overlaid with gold. The entire house he overlaid with gold until it was completely covered with it. He also overlaid with gold the entire altar that belonged to the sanctuary. Inside the sanctuary he made 2 cherubim of olive wood, each 17.5 feet high. Each of the 2 wings of one of the cherubim was 8 3/4 feet long, so that the distance from the end of one wing to the end of the other was 17.5 feet. Likewise, the wingspread of the other cherub was 17.5 feet. Both cherubim were identical in shape and size. The height of the one cherub was 17.5 feet, likewise that of the other. He set the cherubim in the inner house. The wings of the cherubim were stretched out, so that the wing of the one touched the one wall, and the wing of the other cherub touched the other wall. Their wings touched each other in the middle of the house. He overlaid the cherubim with gold. All around the walls of the house, both inside the sanctuary and outside it, he carved figures of cherubim, palm trees and open flowers. He overlaid the floor of the house with gold, both inside the sanctuary and outside it. For the entrance to the sanctuary he made doors of olive wood, set within a 5-sided door frame. On the 2 olive wood doors he carved figures of cherubim, palm trees and open flowers. He overlaid the doors with gold, forcing the gold into the shapes of the cherubim and palm trees as well. For the entrance to the temple he also made doorposts of olive wood, set within a rectangular door frame. And 2 doors of cypress wood. The 2 leaves of the one door were folding, as were the 2 leaves of the other. On them he carved cherubim, palm trees and open flowers, overlaying them with gold fitted to the carved work. He built the inner courtyard with 3 rows of cut stone and a row of cedar beams. The foundation of the house of Adonai was laid in the 4th year, in the month of Ziv. In the 11th year, in the month of Bul, which is the 8th month, all parts of the house were completed exactly as designed. Thus he was 7 years building it.